Life, in its most idealized form, is often envisioned as a serene and uninterrupted ascent toward happiness and fulfillment. We are taught to seek comfort, avoid pain, and pave a smooth path for our futures. Yet history, literature, and our own lived experiences universally attest to a different truth, that the journey of a human being is not a smooth path, but a rugged and often tumultuous terrain. Adversity, the chaotic, unpredictable, and often painful experiences we face, is not an anomaly to be avoided, but an essential component of the human story. While it can manifest as personal tragedy, professional failure, or a global crisis, its common thread is its power to disrupt our sense of order and challenge our fundamental beliefs. This disruption, however, is not a final state of being. It is a crucible. It is within this crucible that the true and lasting components of our identity are forged. The journey from chaos to clarity is the process by which we do not simply survive hardship, but actively use it as a tool to uncover our deepest values, build unwavering resilience, and ultimately discover who we are meant to be. Here we will explore the profound and often counterintuitive role of adversity in shaping our identity, drawing upon philosophical wisdom, psychological insights, and real-world applications to illuminate how struggle can be transformed into a source of enduring strength and purpose. Let's start with the psychological crucible, post-traumatic growth. What do you mean by this powerful metaphor? It means that hardship acts like a powerful force that tests and purifies a person's character, ultimately shaping them into a stronger, more resilient version of themselves. The immediate impact of adversity is often a psychological maelstrom. It can trigger feelings of helplessness, despair, and a profound sense of loss. Psychologically, we are wired to seek stability, and chaos upends this fundamental need. However, modern psychology has moved beyond the singular focus on post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, to recognize a parallel phenomenon known as post-traumatic growth, PTG. This concept suggests that individuals can, often do, experience significant positive psychological change following a life-altering trauma or crisis. It is in the aftermath of our deepest pain that we can find our greatest strength. Researchers Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun identified 5 key areas where post-traumatic growth can occur. 1. A greater appreciation for life. Experiencing a brush with tragedy often reframes our perspective, making us cherish the simple moments we once took for granted. 2. Deeper relationships with others. Crisis can forge powerful bonds as we rely on others and find solace in shared vulnerability. 3. A new sense of personal strength. Surviving a challenge can fundamentally change our self-perception, leading us to believe in our own capacity for resilience. 4. Change priorities. Adversity can strip away the superficial, forcing us to reevaluate what truly matters and align our lives with those new priorities. 5. New possibilities for the future. A traumatic event can dismantle our preconceived notions about our life's path, opening us up to new and unexpected opportunities. These 5 areas illustrate that adversity is not just something to be overcome, but a force that can fundamentally reorganize our internal world for the better. It forces a cognitive reevaluation, a process of sifting through the wreckage of our assumptions and building a new, more robust psychological framework. It is through this painful yet necessary process that we begin to see ourselves not as victims of circumstance, but as architects of our own character. This is the first step on the journey from chaos to clarity, where the disordered event reveals a new, more ordered sense of self. The Stoic Forge, finding control in chaos. One of the most powerful philosophical frameworks for understanding the role of adversity is Stoicism. The Stoics, from ancient thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius to modern practitioners, did not believe in passively accepting misfortune. Instead, they viewed adversity as a training ground for the mind and a direct opportunity to practice virtue. The core of their philosophy is a dichotomy of control. We cannot control external events, but we can absolutely control our internal response to them. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, in his Personal Meditations, famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes a way." This profound insight serves as a cornerstone of the Stoic approach to adversity. It suggests that the very obstacle we face is not an end, but the beginning of a new path. The challenge itself contains a necessary lesson or opportunity for growth. For example, If a business venture fails, the Stoic view would be to not dwell on the loss of money or status, but to focus on the lessons learned about leadership, strategy, and risk. The failure is an impediment, but it becomes a way to greater wisdom and future success. The Stoic practice of negative visualization, contemplating potential misfortunes, is another tool to prepare the mind for adversity. By mentally rehearsing for loss or hardship, we inoculate ourselves against the shock of real events. This is not a pessimistic exercise. It is an act of psychological preparation. It helps us to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for what we have in the present, while also preparing us to handle chaos with composure. It is a philosophy that sees difficulty not as an enemy, but as a necessary and even welcome teacher, transforming the uncontrollable chaos of life into a clear, moral choice about how to respond. The moral compass, clarifying our values. Adversity has a unique ability to act as a crucible for our moral values. In times of comfort and ease, our beliefs can be theoretical, untested by the harsh realities of life. When we are faced with a crisis, be it personal illness, a financial setback, or an ethical dilemma, the abstract nature of our values is put to the test. It is in these moments that we are forced to decide, often under immense pressure, what we truly stand for. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche captured this idea with his famous aphorism, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The why is our purpose, our core values, our reason for existence. Adversity forces us to find this why. It strips away the superficial layers of our lives, our possessions, our social status, our routines, and leaves us with a clearer view of what is truly important. A person who loses their job might discover that their true value lies not in their professional title, but in their ability to provide for their family, leading them to pursue a new path with renewed determination. A person who overcomes a health crisis might realize the profound importance of their relationships, leading them to invest more deeply in their personal connections. This process of value clarification is essential for building a strong, authentic identity. Without the friction of adversity, our identity can become a collection of inherited beliefs and societal expectations. Chaos forces us to examine these beliefs, to discard what is not truly ours, and to embrace the values that emerge from our most difficult experiences. This process is often painful, but the clarity that emerges is unparalleled. It is the moment we stop living a life defined by others and begin to live a life that is truly our own. The narrative of self, authoring our story. Every person's life is a story, and adversity is the plot twist. Without challenges, the narrative of our lives would be a bland, uninteresting tale. It is the struggle that gives the story its meaning, its depth, and its dramatic arc. The journey from chaos to clarity is fundamentally a journey of authorship. It is the process of moving from being a passive character in a series of events to becoming the active hero of our own narrative. Think of the mythological hero's journey, which almost always begins with a call to adventure and a descent into the unknown. The hero must face dragons, overcome obstacles, and endure immense suffering before they can return with a newfound wisdom or treasure. Our own lives mirror this journey. The challenges we face are our dragons. By confronting them, we are not simply enduring. We are actively writing the most compelling parts of our story. We are creating a narrative of resilience, courage, and growth that not only empowers us, but can also inspire others. This reframing of our experiences is a vital step in identity formation. Instead of seeing a setback as an ending, we learn to see it as a chapter. Instead of seeing a failure as a personal flaw, we learn to see it as a valuable plot point. This mindset shift is not about denying the pain of adversity, but about placing it within a larger, more meaningful context. It allows us to integrate our experiences, both good and bad, into a coherent and empowering narrative. The scars we bear are not signs of our brokenness, but evidence of our strength. This is the ultimate lesson of adversity, that the challenges we face are not happening to us, but are happening for us, providing the necessary ingredients to author a life of profound meaning and purpose. The gift of empathy, connecting through shared struggle. Adversity often feels like an isolating experience, a private battle waged in the dark. However, one of its most profound and lasting gifts is the capacity to connect us more deeply to others. When we endure hardship, we gain a new, visceral understanding of what it means to suffer. We move beyond theoretical compassion and develop a genuine empathy for the struggles of those around us. This is not a comfortable lesson. It is born from the very discomfort and pain we sought to avoid. As the great writer and activist Helen Keller, who overcame immense adversity herself, once reflected, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. This quote beautifully captures the duality of adversity and empathy. Our own overcoming provides us with a unique key to unlock a deeper connection with others. We can recognize the silent battles, the hidden sorrows, and the quiet triumphs of those around us because we have walked a similar path. This shared experience creates a bond that transcends social barriers, professional status, and personal differences. It makes us more patient, more understanding, and more willing to extend a helping hand. This newfound empathy becomes a moral obligation, compelling us to use our own experiences not just for personal gain, but for the betterment of a wider community. It transforms us from solitary survivors into interconnected members of a compassionate society. Igniting innovation, adversity as a catalyst for creativity. In a world of abundance and convenience, we often rely on established patterns and ready-made solutions. Adversity shatters this complacency. When our resources are limited, our routines are disrupted, and our assumptions are proven false, we are forced to think in new and innovative ways. The chaos of adversity acts as a creative catalyst, pushing us to solve problems with ingenuity and to find opportunities where none seem to exist. This is the essence of human creativity. It often flourishes not in comfort, but at the edge of possibility, born from necessity. The history of science, art, and entrepreneurship is replete with examples of this phenomenon. The great artists who created masterpieces while suffering from illness, the inventors who built groundbreaking technologies with minimal resources, and the leaders who forged new nations from the ashes of war all demonstrate the same principle. Adversity sharpens the mind and clarifies the mission. Adversity compels us to ask fundamentally different questions and to look at old problems from a new perspective. It is in the face of a seemingly impossible challenge that the most creative and transformative solutions are often born. This process is not merely about finding a way to survive. It is about finding a way to thrive in a manner we never could have imagined had our path been smooth. Practical application. Navigating the storm with a purposeful mindset. The insights gained from adversity are not meant to be mere intellectual exercises. They are tools for living. To transform chaos into clarity, one must actively engage with their experiences rather than simply enduring them. This requires a shift in mindset and the adoption of purposeful practices. First, practice gratitude, especially in the storm. While it may seem counterintuitive, finding even the smallest things to be grateful for in a moment of hardship can prevent a complete descent into despair. This is not about denying the pain, but about anchoring yourself to the small pockets of light that still exist. Second, seek out community and connection. The psychological benefits of post-traumatic growth are often amplified by social support. Sharing your story, listening to others, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable with a trusted few can make the journey from chaos to clarity far more manageable. The journey of identity formation is not meant to be a solitary one. Finally, reframe your challenges as opportunities for growth. This is the core Stoic practice in action. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this experience teaching me?" Or, "How can I use this to become a stronger, wiser person?" This simple shift in perspective can transform a moment of overwhelming difficulty into a profound learning opportunity. The enduring legacy of a forged identity. The journey from chaos to clarity is a testament to the remarkable resilience of the human spirit. Adversity, far from being a force of destruction, is a necessary and powerful sculptor of identity. It strips away the inessential, tests our values, and forces us to author a narrative of courage and purpose. It is through our struggles that we discover the enduring values we hold, the strength we possess, and the empathy we can offer to a wounded world. The philosopher Seneca, in a letter to his friend Lucilius, captured this final truth when he wrote, "A fire tests gold, adversity tests strong men. The gold, once tested, emerges purer and more valuable." Similarly, a person who has been forged in the crucible of adversity emerges with a stronger, more authentic, and more compassionate identity. This identity is not defined by the absence of pain, but by the wisdom and resilience gained from having faced it. This is the ultimate gift of adversity. It allows us to live not just a life of survival, but a life of enduring meaning and purpose.